So what does outstanding leadership look like today? I am confident that the highest impact leaders will be those who are expert in attracting, retaining, and developing the best talent. Those who build and sustain truly meritocratic organizations. You know, meritocracy is no longer just a management buzzword. It has become the central battleground in the ongoing debate over America's core identity and values. Let me provide some context because there's a lot of nuance here. There's been a simmering tension behind the scenes for the last 25 years in our companies, law firms, and universities. The narrative that increasing diversity somehow risks or compromises the excellence-based meritocracy that got these institutions to where they are today. That narrative has always been a false one, but it was never broadly challenged until most US employers, in the wake of George Floyd's murder, put out statements opposing racism in all forms. CEOs were surprised and shocked when their employees, both people of color and white, reacted negatively, telling their CEOs that while their statements were appreciated, you can't stand up against racism externally while allowing the long tails of racism to fester internally. Employees were essentially saying that their playing field was far from level, only meritocratic for some people. That led to a flurry of activities to move the needle on workplace inclusion and underrepresentation. But those efforts created the perception among some folks that opportunity was being taken away from them rather than expanding the pie, the prosperity pie for everyone. This, despite the data from the most trusted places like McKinsey, that clearly shows that people who are in the majority were not being disadvantaged. Extremists on the right pounced on this perception gap and launched a multi-pronged campaign to hijack the concept of meritocracy and convince us that any effort to advance opportunity for anyone who's not a straight white Christian male is both anti-meritocratic and discriminates against those white males. You've seen the tweets and heard the BS rhetoric, unfortunately, even from HBS graduates that know better, that insisting that a white woman or a person of color who ascends to a position of power, by definition, did not get there on their merits. They are a DEI hire. Or if you're a woman, a religious minority, gay, or a person of color and get accepted to a top business school, by definition, you must be less qualified. They are preying upon the confusion and the insecurities of even the most well-intentioned, best educated men about what is and what is not meritocratic. So you all, class of 2025, need to become well-informed about what a genuine meritocracy looks like if you are going to become excellent leaders. It is accurate to say that an organization is a meritocracy if one's performance, the quality of one's work alone, drive their success or failure. It's one where excellence is recognized and rewarded. But there's one critical assumption underlying this, that the playing field is actually level. And unfortunately, that assumption is false. The reality is that the playing field is only level if everyone has the opportunity to get there on their merits and if everyone has that genuine confidence that they belong there. Let me say that again. A meritocratic workplace is one where everyone has the genuine confidence that they belong. What you need to understand is that no matter how talented you are, and even if you went to the same schools and worked in similar organizations, when you start out as one of one or one of a few in every meeting of every day, you don't necessarily have that genuine confidence that you belong. Instead, you spend a disproportionate amount of your mental bandwidth distracted by questions such as, do they assume that I am not as good as the others? And if I make a mistake, will that reflect on all those who look like me? To help you understand what that feels like and to have some fun with you all, let me take a quick audience poll of everyone, including parents and friends. So here's the setup. So you're at a wedding of the daughter of an important work colleague. and that colleague requests that you join them on the dance floor for their favorite R&B song. Okay? I want you all to give me a thumbs up if you are excited to get out on the dance floor because I'm gonna look good because I got some moves, right? Thumbs up. And then if you're, I want you to give me a thumb sideways if you're like, hey, this is not quite my sweet spot, but I will hold my own enough not to draw attention to myself. So these are the sideways folks. And then give me a thumbs down if you are dreading it because you may look uncoordinated to the point where folks might have a lasting memory and maybe tease you about it later. Okay, so here we go. Thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. Okay, show me a thumb sideways. Right? All right, and those of you, let's be honest, be open here. Show me the thumbs down, not your thing. Okay, I see Srikant over there is thumbs up. I'd love to see that. We might have to test you about that tonight on the dance floor. If I asked those of you who gave a thumbs down to describe the feeling inside as you walk out onto that dance floor, I would hear words like awkward, being judged, no confidence, and that Southwest Airlines tagline, want to get away. But for those of us who are the only one or one of a very few in our workplace, those same descriptors capture exactly how we feel in every meeting of every day. So if I'm feeling every day the way those you thumbs down folks are feeling when you hit the dance floor, and I'm competing every day with my colleagues who have that thumbs up feeling in every meeting, then that is not a level playing field, and that cannot be a meritocracy. Instead, unfortunately, it's still a foot race across a minefield to develop that genuine confidence you belong before you make enough mistakes to get you branded as a B or C player. And the stakes of that foot race are high for your career, for your family's economic security, and for your mental health. Because when it comes to your job, you can't just smile, walk off the dance floor, grab a drink, and tell your colleague, I'm glad I won't have to do that again for a while. Often, this is nobody's fault. It's very rarely deliberate racism or sexism. It's just the reality of where we are today on the journey to meritocracy. The problem that you all, class of 2025, the problem that you all can help fix is that too many of today's most admired leaders continue to miss what is going on. And when you miss what's going on, you don't take the actions that would truly address the root causes. Instead, you misread the performance and retention data, and you actually spread the cancerous narrative further. So I encourage all of you to create the conditions in your future organizations that enable everyone who has that thumbs down dance floor feeling to develop the genuine confidence that they belong. And the how-to is pretty simple. Just apply the same high level of rigor to talent management that your organizations already require in every other part of your business, whether that's M&A, AI, strategy, cybersecurity, customer experience. That rigor includes taking steps that level the playing field so you can have a meritocracy for everyone. And these steps, and frankly, it doesn't matter what we call them, diverse talent initiatives, coaching and mentoring programs, whatever, these steps are not threats to meritocracy. Instead, they are the scaffolding that allows meritocracy to flourish. And when meritocracy flourishes, democracy endures. So if I were your AI agent, I would summarize by reminding you of three things as you enter this daunting world. Focus relentlessly on identifying your genius gifts and build your career around those gifts. Don't try to do too much, even when you're operating in the sweet spot of your genius gifts. And third, now that you are a little better informed about what a true meritocracy feels like, don't fall for the BS narratives out there. At this pivotal juncture in our world, Be someone who moves your organizations and your respective nations forward, closer to being meritocracies for everyone. Thank you, congratulations, class of 25, and I hope you celebrate with plenty of thumbs up and thumbs down dancing over the next few days.